Welcome to Stalkers, where we discuss the most bizarre, funny, and thought-provoking questions. Today's debate is a doozy, guys. If a vampire is a cop, can he enter your house without permission? Our guests are Dylan and Destin. Thanks for joining me.
Hey everyone, thrilled to be here. As thrilled as I was when my wife told me she wanted to separate because of my obsession with vampire lore. She always said she couldn't stand the night shifts.
Oh man, that's deep. I remember when I first bought my house, the realtor said...
Actually, Dustin, let's stick to the topic. We're not discussing real estate. But if we were, I'd remind you of the Fourth Amendment and unlawful entries. It's all about probable cause and search warrants.
That's what I was getting to. You know, in a roundabout way.
Speaking of roundabout ways, my wife said she took the long way to avoid running into me at the grocery store the other day. But speaking of vampire cops, traditionally, vampires cannot enter a residence without an invitation. It's a deeply ingrained rule in the folklore.
All right, Mr. Dracula. Officers need a search warrant or exigent circumstances to enter without permission. Being undead doesn't give you any special privileges.
You know, this makes me think of my cat, Whiskers. Whenever I don't give him permission, he just sneaks in. Also, aren't vampires technically dead? So wouldn't the law technically not apply to them?
Destin, why do you always...
You know who else sneaks in? My wife's new friend. I've seen him, sneaky fella. But anyway, from a mythological standpoint, even if a vampire cop had a warrant, he still couldn't step in without an invitation. They're bound by supernatural laws.
You cannot be saying that centuries-old folklore trumps modern law. Next, you'll be saying a werewolf can only be arrested on a full moon.
Oh, speaking of moons, did you guys see that documentary on lunar phases? I think it has a point here.
Yeah, probably as much as my wife's new friend has a point. Every time I see him, he's pointing at something. But in most tales, the barrier at the threshold is unbreakable for vampires.
Laws are like garlic to vampires. They hate them, but they have to respect them. If the vampire can't enter due to folklore, well, the law will have to adapt. It's not the first time myth and law clash.
Speaking of garlic, you know what I had the other day that had a weird flavor? That new taco-flavored chewing gum.
You know what else has a weird flavor? The bitterness of seeing your spouse with someone else. But speaking of sponsors...
Good segue, Dylan. Before we continue, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors.
That's right. Big shout out to Chewy Taco Gum. Experience the zesty flavors of a taco in a chewable delight. Perfect for when you're on the go or, say, stalking your estranged wife from a safe distance.
I tried it, and it's surprisingly profound. It takes you on a journey, kind of like how this discussion has.
All right, wrapping it up. It seems we can't reach a consensus. The law is clear, but myths have their own laws.
Just like my soon-to-be ex-wife has her own laws. And her new friend, did I mention him?
And speaking of mentioning, did you guys ever notice how...
Hey now, okay, hold on. We're out of time. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back with another biting issue soon.